Good morning everybody. Today our English lesson is going to be an edit lesson and we are going to be editing part 3 and 4. So this is what you drafted on Monday. Okay, so it will continue from part 1 and 2 that you edited yesterday. So what I want you to do is read your draft and then pick 3 targets that you think you must include when you start to edit this time. If you haven't used them in your draft, are you going to use them this time? Okay, I'm going to put up, just so you can pause the video if you want to read it, part 3 and 4 from the Wizard of Oz book. So if you want to pause that, you can do that now. Okay, and then here is the waggle based off of part 3 and 4. Okay, so we are going to use the same strategies that we used yesterday. So I want you to go back to your plan for part 3 and part 4 and read through your points. So for example, my points were that the house was lifted, the sky was dark, the wind was howling and shrieking, Dorothy felt like she was being cradled, and then Dorothy and Toto fell asleep. And then my vocabulary was here, which I was trying to get into my draft because I thought it was high level. Okay, so here is my draft. And just like yesterday, I'm going to read through it first before I do anything. So Dorothy lay on the cracked wooden floor, knocked out, as the house rose higher and higher in the cyclone. Worried, Toto yelped, causing his owner to stir. Disorientated, Dorothy took in her surroundings. The sky was dark, a colour Dorothy had never seen before. Although the wind howled and shrieked, the house rocked gently, which was unusual considering they were in a cyclone. The more the house rocked, the more Dorothy and Toto struggled to stay awake. Slowly, they both went into a peaceful sleep. Okay? So, hopefully then, as you read your draft, you will start to pick up on little mistakes you might have made, little spelling mistakes, little grammatical mistakes, you might be missing some punctuation, or you might think, oh, I might be able to up-level some of your vocabulary. So we are going to use the same editing stations as we did yesterday. So we had our punctuation point and we had our spelling square. So I'm quickly going to go through each of the stations and think about how I can draft up level using the edit. So when I read, I think all of my full stops are in the correct place. So I know I don't need to add any of those in. And then capital letter chord. So I think I was missing some capital letters actually. So I'm going to go through and check. Remember, we just skim read, so we are just quickly reading. We're not reading properly. So I'm just checking my first sentence, and then here I've got a full stop. I'm missing my capital letter for worried. Oh, that's not where it goes. Worried, super, wasn't disorientated. Oh, Dorothy. Dorothy needs a capital letter because that's a name. It's a proper noun. Any proper noun needs a capital letter. Oh, and then the same again here. The more. Super. So I've got all of my capital letters in the correct place. I didn't include any questions. I haven't got any exclamation sentences, so I haven't got any exclamation marks. Are my apostrophes correct? So I'm looking for contractions and for possession. Don't think I've used any contractions and I don't think there are any possession, so I can leave that one. And then commas. Let me check if my commas are correct. So I've got my comma for my expanded noun phrase and for my parenthesis. My commas for parenthesis. I've got a comma for a fronted adverbial. I've got a comma for a fronted adverbial and a comma again. A comma for a fronted adverbial there. Have I got any others? I've got my comma here for meaning for my the more sentence, and I've got another comma for my fronted adverbial. So my commas are correct, which is great. So then this one is the one where I need to start thinking a little bit more about what I've written, because at first I need to find out if my homophones are correct. So let's check through the work. You could do this with me if you wanted to. So all of my homophones are correct. So we're thinking about maybe the there, and there, the which and which, the whose and whose, the here and here, the your and your, the practice and practice, two and two. So check your ones if you need to know what the meanings of them are, what the difference is. You can go and do some independent research. If you just put into Google, what is the difference between these two words, it will tell you. Okay, and then I want to think about the Ambitious Word Academy. So we're thinking about ambitious words, powerful verbs, powerful adjectives, and adverbs. So when I was reading my writing, I thought actually I could up-level a lot of this vocabulary. So I've got cracked here, but I think the word that we learnt on Monday of last week would have been a lot better, which was warped. Remember, warped told us that the wood might have been twisted or bent. And then worried, I think worried I could up level possibly to anxious. Toto might have been feeling anxious. Howled, shrieked, I think those are quite nice. We're going to keep those in there. And then I had knocked out. I think knocked out is quite informal. It doesn't really fit in with the type of writing we are doing. So I'm going to change that to the word unconscious. She lay unconscious on the floor as the house rose higher and higher. Okay? And then, now that I've completed these, I just want to quickly skim over just to check if I've missed anything else. So Dorothy lay on the warped wooden floor unconscious as the house rose higher and higher in the cyclone. Anxious Toto yelped, causing his owner to stir. Disorientated, Dorothy took in her surroundings. The sky was dark, a colour Dorothy had never seen before. Although the wind howled and shrieked, the house rocked gently, which was unusual considering they were in a cyclone. So here I've noticed that my relative pronoun doesn't quite fit. So if I think back to my grammar lessons, I know that who actually refers to a person. So I might need to use the relative pronoun which. The house rocked gently, which was unusual. So which can refer to objects, so which is referring to the house. Okay? So remember, you are going to edit as you rewrite this out. So you need a new piece of paper and you're going to edit your draft just as you would in school. And then once you have done, remember to self-assess and then send Mr. Bates and I a picture of your work on Class Dojo using the correct to-do lesson.